So I'm really excited because for in bulk, lemon is one of my favorite ingredients to work with. And it's actually perfect because today is the Lunar New Year. We had the Aquarius new moon yesterday. And so lemon's actually a wonderful citrus to work with the moon. It's associated with the moon in astrology. So it's like perfect all around for in bulk, but also this energy that we are transitioning through right now. And so for those of you who don't know, I'm sure you'll probably know from the series, but just to talk a little bit about in bulk, so we understand kind of the backdrop for why we're working. We're going to do a little bit like a lemon cocktail, lemon non-alcoholic version as well, and then a few ways you can incorporate ritual with that, so that way you can like have that inner aspect of ingesting, that transformation, that power, as well as some outer magic to incorporate as well. But a little bit about in bulk. So in bulk is the halfway point between the winter time and spring. So basically a marker of we are like close to spring, halfway through. And particularly when you think from the perspective of many of our ancestors, depending on where they were in the world, winter time was where they would store, a lot of food. There wasn't a lot growing. And so spring and the turn of the seasons was really important for understanding that, okay, we're going to have food again. There's going to be growth, nurturance, abundance. So this celebration is kind of like a big deal in that respect of this is the promise of spring. We're almost there. The daylight hours are visibly growing. And that promise of abundance and renewal is right around the corner. And so part of that, there's certain traditions they would do, like have candles lit in order to, remind and invite spring back to make sure spring comes through. You can think of like Groundhog Day, which is usually the same day as in bulk, and also associated with Bridget. So a little bit of that fire magic. I've got a little garnish thing we can do for that. That will be fun. But also, I think interrupt me, please.
Yeah.
And the other aspect I think it's important to talk about in bulk, because we are heading towards spring, it's a really key day for cleansing and purification. And you can think of it from, I like to think of winter being this cocoon, this really introspective space where we go within, go through a lot of transformation and change, and especially with what's been happening astrologically, a lot of that has been happening. And now finally with this Aquarius new moon, like many more planets, today I think Uranus goes retrograde too. Goes direct, the opposite. It's retrograde ends. So we have all of these, planets and alignment are going forward and direct again. And we have this new energy of possibilities and kind of liberating ourselves. And so in bulk, as from a cleansing perspective, is I feel like in order to have the best manifestation possible, to invoke the blessings of the spring or the growth, especially if you're an entrepreneur, you have to cleanse the old away, cleanse that old energy to make room for the new, but also in order to limit or invite a little bit of that limitless perspective, right? Invite in possibilities. So cleansing away old patterns and old ties that limit what we think is possible for us. So it's really key in kind of like making room for the future and what we want to invoke. And so lemon is just perfect. We use it in, cleansing products, but it's also associated with purification and also kind of that inspiration and joy, which is great for tuning into that feeling of hope with the springtime. So we're going to dive into a little bit of how you can infuse lemon as an example through your potions, your cocktail, mocktail, ingestible, as well as a few little rituals that I love to do so you can have like this full experience of ingesting the cleansing and purification of lemon, as well as using its energy around your home to make way for the spring.
Amazing.
Yeah. Any questions, comments? I know I can talk a lot. So
no, loving it. Just loving it. Okay, I can't wait for the fire magic bit.
Oh, I know. You've probably seen me do it before though, Louisa. It's like my favorite trick. But at least now we've got like this bird's eye view going. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, I probably should turn the audio on my phone, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and if this is too complicated, I can just keep it to the main screen. Maybe that would be easier.
So just turn the audio on your phone and then the mic off on your laptop, and then
perfect.
yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going to do this switch really quickly, and I have to apologize in advance because the bird's eye view is a little lower, so you're going to see my lovely double chin. So forgive me
I'm
for
right
that.
there.
You
I
look
have to
great.
go
So,
up
okay.
at an angle these days, you know. Ah, there we go, connected. Fantastic. So I'm really looking forward to learning all about lemon magic. I'm really excited about using this, particularly at this time of year. It's a fresh start, isn't it, to this new year. Lemon is quite a potent ingredient to work with at this kind of time. And she's back. Oh no, we're still not hearing you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, got it.
Okay. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Okay,
That's
awesome.
right.
Yeah, so thank you everyone for your patience during that little blip. So what we're gonna actually start with is this maple gin hot toddy. It is not necessary to add gin at all for this, so you can do a non-alcoholic version. This is a drink from my blog, so that recipe is on there. And I'll give some other suggestions, but you can really find numerous recipes on my blog, books, wherever, even Witchology magazines, for lemon recipes that you can use. It's kind of like a little demo. And it's perfect because this is also not just a recipe that I suggest for in bulk, but it's also got cold and hot versions. So depending on where you are climate-wise, it works, as well as it's got a lot of ingredients associated with air, so the Aquarius new moon. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is take your little teacup here, have hot water boiling, and you are going to add a little bit of fresh rosemary preferably, but I am in the process of moving in a week, so there's some ways I have to improvise a little, so I'm going to add a little bit of dried rosemary. The rosemary is perfect because its name comes from dew of the sea. It used to grow by the sides of the Mediterranean, or it still does, but that's primarily where it comes from. And so it's this wonderful cleansing ingredient that's also associated with, you know, we think of the name of the oceans and the moon in that way. It is associated with air astrologically too, so it's got wonderful associations. So you put in your rosemary sprig, and then we are going to go ahead and add a couple of sage leaves here. I've got these little itty bitty ones. And so sage, we all know, especially, you know, culinary sage here is what I'm using. Some fresh sage leaves. These are little small ones, so I'm doing a couple more, about 5 small ones, but ideally you would use, you know, 3 larger ones if you can. And oh, it smells so good.
Oh,
sorry.
Yeah. I love sage.
Yeah. And so it's really great for cleansing and also wisdom associated with the element of air. So, you know, Aquarius is an air sign, helping to, you know, just bring in that cleansing of our mindset, and bring in that wisdom that we tend to look for around in bulk. Then what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and add 3 ounces of hot water. Make a little tea. Okay, let's see if I don't burn myself.
Oh, I bet that smells amazing.
It does. That's the one thing. I've had this little elevated platform, obviously, as you can probably see. So it's just straight up in my face. And
oh,
so yeah. So while that infuses, we're going to do a little bit of one ritual that I like to do with lemon. And oh, lemons are right here. I moved them. And so I actually like to use lemon as a platform for burning a candle. Now, obviously, you're going to want to burn this on a plate within sight. Fire, you know, no fire happening there. You know, fire hazard. And so we're going to just start by cutting our lemon here. This will kind of be a little bottom platform. And then we're going to cut the other half here. And this is great because you can use the other half of the lemon for your drink, because we're going to add lemon to that ingredient. So you can go ahead and take your lemon either way you prefer it. Let me find my candle here.
I'm already loving this idea. This looks amazing.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite things to do. And so you guys can take, like, you know, white candle. You can even try a tea light if you like. That's a little chime candle. And then you can dress it with, you know, cleansing oil. You can do that. You can do olive oil. You can do honey. You can do maple. You can even like do the lemon juice if you want and use that. Which actually, I'll just do that. Kind of. The idea is just to have.
Cool.
Yeah, it's just, I had to get really creative with the my most recent book, the astrology and magic one, because I wanted to make it accessible. And so, you know, I had to like think of like, I can't give a whole bunch of oil recipes in here.
Yes.
So one of the ways is you can just use straight up old juice, old citrus.
I love that.
And
it is easy to fall into that trap, isn't it? Of just, oils are so easy to make and they're also really useful, but actually, you know, you can just anoint with the lemon. I'd never even thought about that. So easy and so effective.
Yeah, and it's also like, you know, I worked at a witch shop, and you know, obviously I make oils, so I have like essential oils, all this stuff. But I realize a lot of people may not have those things. And so we're going to use the same ingredients that we put into our potion onto our white candle. So we've got the lemon juice on here. Going to put a little bit of rosemary. And obviously work with what you have. Oops, that was a little much. It's not going to pick up everything. And then I actually have ground sage. You can use dried sage. You don't have to use sage at all. But since I'm a professional mixologist, I have all of the herbs. And you can just sprinkle that a little bit. And then what you're going to do, you know, just maybe put a little more lemon juice on there. You're going to take your candle and you're going to roll it through, but facing away from you. So visualizing, cleansing your energy. Yeah, look at that. And the energy moving away from you as you're rolling, and you've got this. And then you can just kind of press this. Oh, let's see, I might have to make a hole first. There we go. Beautiful. And so, you know, I almost wonder doing this, like if you could make a little, like float this in water. I don't know. It looks like a little boat, you know?
Okay, now that would be really, really cool, wouldn't it? That would be really cool. I like that.
So anyway, you've got your cleansing candle ready to go, matching ingredients to our recipe here. And let's go ahead and just check our tea. Ideally, it would have a little bit of color, but since I'm doing this live, it hasn't had a lot of time to sit. So, you know, just imagine this is just a little bit darker, you know, infused, you know, but again, you know, rosemary, sage, and then you're going to take a ½ ounce of maple syrup. You can do honey as well. That's a good choice. But maple has that grounding, you know, when you think of maple coming from maple trees, I like to work with it from that perspective as well. It's, you know, also associated with abundance and love. So it's got great energy, but particularly for this drink, we want kind of that tree aspect. And then we're going to take our other half of our lemon. So no matter what lemon drink you are making, regardless of...
We've got a question. How long is it best to steep the tea for?
Yeah, so I would say about like, you know, 5 to 10 minutes. That's probably a good amount of time. You know, again, it kind of just depends on the ingredients. So if you know, are using a little bit of more sage leaves or rosemary, it should just have a light color to it. So that's going to be the key indicator for that. Okay, so now we've got the other half of the lemon. So we used half the lemon for our little candle here. And then we have the other half that we're going to put into our drink. Now you can squeeze it by hand directly if you want. I like to measure just because every lemon has a different amount of citric acid or lemon juice within it. So measuring helps me keep it consistent. But as you're squeezing, I can even do it by hand into my little measure here, although it's probably going to get messy. Really, as you're squeezing the lemon, so like just visualize the lemon cleaning, cleansing your energy, you know, so you can use this is like kinesthetic magic to me, you know, just the same way like you dance to raise energy, which Louisa obviously knows all about. I love seeing your stuff from the ritual kind of stuff that you do. So as you're squeezing the lemon here, and should actually just move this. Any drink that you do, as you squeeze the lemon, just visualize, squeezing all over myself. I'm going to use my hand thing, sorry. When you're doing it at home, you can do it directly into your drink, you know, because you're just making it for yourself. But when you're behind the bar in a professional setting, it's always better to measure things. But anyway, as you squeeze, just squeeze out all that negative energy. And let the lemon cleanse it. And perfect. This was great. That half lemon made a perfect 1 ounce measurement for us. And you've got your, yeah. And you've got your tea here with the maple, with the sage, with the rosemary. And you can just pour that in, visualizing kind of the moon's energy, you know, for the Aquarius new moon, if you like, cleansing as you're adding it. And then you can take your rosemary sprig if you have that, or like me, you only have fresh sage right now. You can stir it with your sprig counterclockwise to kind of stir everything together. Beautiful. Leave that in there. And then you're going to go ahead, if you want a cocktail, you can add 1.5 ounces of gin. This is a special edition gin. I was very lucky to get this. Where is the camera? This is a summer solstice gin from Hendrick's that I kept, you know, but use any gin that you like.
Oh, love
1.5 ounces. Yeah, and gin is, you know, the key ingredient of gin is juniper. That's what defines a gin as a gin. Juniper has to be involved in the process. And juniper is a very cleansing ingredient. And also, you can chill this if you like. So once you have it all together, and I'm just going to go ahead, I'm sorry for using my knife for this. Just give it another stir.
Very witchy.
Yeah. Let me just sip this. And what's great about this too is obviously make sure not to ingest the herbs unless you want to. You can strain it. This is so delicious. But you can also use the leftover herbal bits as a little bit of tea leaf reading. So kind of to divine for what the year ahead or any information about cleansing. And then we're going to add a bit more lemon magic here. Okay. This is where we get fancy. So you see your lemon citrus. Whoop, whoop. Is it in perspective now? Sorry. It's got all those pores, and those pores contain oil. And so you're going to go ahead and just cut a slice of the peel. You don't want to get the acid, the juice. Just kind of cut it a little bit. You just have a little bit of, you know, that white on the inside that lets you know that you got a good amount of, you know, the pores there to get those oils. And so if you're connecting specifically to Bridget, you know, that healing magic, the magical inspiration, you know, whatever you'd like for in bulk, you can take a match here. Got her fire, right? And you can take your lemon peel and put it above the match, kind of at an angle here, and you're going to squeeze it, and it's going to create a huge flame. Yeah, obviously, hopefully yours is not that big. That's all the magic. And then, you know, as you squeeze that and you get the fire going, think of what your intention, you know, invoking Bridget into your drink, invoking the fire and the light of Bulk. You can wipe it around the rim of your drink and place it inside. And now we can also light our Bulk candle for cleansing our energy, you know, whatever you want to invoke.
I love it.
Yeah, you've got your little matching lemon cleansing candle to cleanse your energy, to make way for the things you're going to bless. And then you also have your lemon tea. So cleansing from the inside and the outside. And then I have one more little thing to show. Let me just sip this because it's tasty. Oh my God, I love this. It'll be good with honey too. You're just gonna wanna, measure that amount. And so I'm gonna set this aside. Oh, and the other thing I forgot to mention, the beauty of doing a candle like this, obviously, when it gets to the bottom, the lemon juice is gonna fizz out the last of the candle. Then you can take the lemon and you can squeeze it over your drains, down the toilet. So it's kind of like a final act of cleansing once the spell is done. You're just going to squeeze the lemon with what it is that you are cleansing from your life. So that's kind of like a beautiful way to add in that energy there. And let's go ahead. And next thing we're going to do, you know what? And let me just mention a couple of things here. So specifically, if you're looking for a cocktail, lemon drops. This is a lemon drop from my book, but you can make any lemon drop. Really is my favorite ingredient for in bulk. So that's a wonderful drink of choice. Any recipe that has lemon, you can incorporate and do this with. It doesn't have to be this one. And then if you want to make a limoncello as well, so there's lunar limoncello here from Moon Magic Mixology. You can look at other recipes online, but it's going to be wonderful to infuse a lunar limoncello for this Lunar New Year, heading towards in bulk, to enjoy that recipe. So it's going to be really delicious. But for the last thing I wanted to show you for how to kind of incorporate this potion ritual into a full experience is we've got this home blessing spritz from my book here, from the Modern Witchcraft Book of Astrology. So it's a little sneak peek. It's organized by the zodiacs, but if you read the beginning, you can understand how to move things about. There's celestial correspondences for each one. And so this is from the Cancer section. This is associated with the moon. And it uses the same ingredients that we put into our tea. And so you can use this to cleanse your home as well. So we have the candle for cleansing the energy. We've got, the tea to cleanse us from the inside out. Yeah, this is from the new book. Yeah, and this is perfect too because I'm about to move. So I'm gonna bottle this up and charge this, in the moon, or you can charge it in the sun if you want to get that new moon alignment, because the new moon's aligned with the sun. So lots of different ways to use this. But basically what you're going to do here is, take a jar or a bowl. And I would use a bowl, but again, I could not find my ritual bowl because everything is being packed up right now. So I'm just using a mason jar. And we're going to go ahead and take 1 tablespoon of either sea salt or this is Himalayan salt, which I like to use in particular for kind of that healing energy. But, any kind of salt works. Okay, and so then you're going to go ahead and add a 1/2 cup of water. I'm going to just use it straight from my tea kettle here, so it's going to be a little hot because that's what I have in hand. But as you're pouring, the moon is associated with water, right? The moon influences our tides. And you can think of too, like in bulk is associated, if you think of associating the moon with a different wheel of the year, winter solstice is the new moon, and in bulk would be the waxing crescent, and so you can kind of think of that lunar energy growing as you pour this, celestial water into your bowl or jar here, like liquid moonlight. And then what you're going to do is you would take a rosemary sprig if you have that. I don't. So I'm just going to pour rosemary straight in. But I do have a sage sprig. So I'm going to go ahead and take my sage sprig. And this is key. You're going to want a sprig. You're going to want a sprig of either sage or rosemary. Sage is what I'm adding to match it to our little recipe here. You can go ahead and just think of the moon cleansing, right? We've got the cleansing salt here, the rosemary. Stir it counterclockwise. And I'll probably have to stir it again with an actual spoon later because the sprig only reaches so far. You can go ahead and just kind of do that with intention, put that aside. And we have some options. So you can add a tablespoon of dried rose, or 5 to 10 drops of rose essential oil if you have that. But rose petals works fine, for that loving energy, that nurturing and healing. And if you want, this is again an optional ingredient, you can add 5 drops of jasmine essential oil. I do have that because I have way too many essential oils, but this is not necessary. Or you can add dried jasmine. God, it smells so good. Come on. Perfect. Jasmine is associated with the moon, with healing, also abundance, got a lot of great energy to it. And then we're going to do the same thing kind of that we did with the lemon peel, except no fire. So again, we have all of these wonderful oils in this fresh citrus ingredient. You can do this with any citrus. And what we're going to do here is you're going to take your lemon peel, and you're going to have 2 to 3 of them, but these little slices, and you're going to just envision the cleansing energy of the Lunar New Year, of bulk. You can do the fire part if you wanted to, but you're just going to squeeze that and put it in, and you're going to just do that 2 more times. So you get that fresh lemon oil, and you can also use this leftover lemon for your drink and for your lemon candle spell too. So kind of nothing has to go to waste.
Or for a good old hex.
yeah, exactly, too. Oh God, it smells so good. And then if you want, you can infuse this in the sun for if you want to put a little bit of solar energy, or you can cleanse it or charge it in the moonlight if you want. But otherwise, it's ready to go right away. And how I like, so the reason why you need a fresh sprig for this, let me just stir this. This is really like a beautiful mixture. You can see it has this pinkish color to it. You can see those ingredients up at the top. Just having that fresh lemon peel oil squeezed in there really brings that cleansing energy. And then what you can do is you're going to do a cleansing around your home, and you use the sprig to spray the water. I don't want to this brings up bad memories for anyone. I apologize, but I don't know if you've ever been to church and they just spray you with water. This is from when I was a kid, but kind of it's the same thing. So you're going to go around your home counterclockwise, and you're just going to kind of flick out the water to help bring in that cleansing Lunar New Year energy. And then you've got your matching drink to kind of cleanse on the inside, and this candle to kind of cleanse energetically. And you've got like a wonderful option of, this really doesn't need to take much time at all, of how to do a little bit of cleansing with lemon from all perspectives for in bulk.
That's fantastic. I love that. There's like a whole triquetra of awesomeness happening there.
Yeah. Let me turn on my main video here so you all don't have to get this beautiful perspective of my face. Give me 1 second.
Okay. I'll mute your other one for you. There we go. So you're just gonna unmute that one. There you go. Fabulous. Oh no, still can't hear you on the laptop. That's strange. It says you've been unmuted. What's going on there? Let me mute you and ask you to unmute again. Let's see if that works. More technical difficulties. This is just part of the course, unfortunately, but at least we have the technology to hold these things online these days, which is awesome. Yeah, I'm not sure why it's not unmuting you. It's very weird. Let me unmute you on your, I'll try and get you on the other one, on your phone maybe. Well, I thoroughly enjoyed that, and like I said, this is a really good book. I really recommend it. It's not often that I like to, you know, go on about books. I only tend to do it these days when I really, really like them, and I do really, really like this. All of Julia's books are amazing, and oh yay, she's gonna pre-order. That's awesome.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay.
Wow.
Wonderful. Sol, if when you pre-order, just DM me on either of my Instagrams or email me. There's a 12-page, two-sided bonus that comes with that of, you know, ingredients and associations for each zodiac sign. So I want to make sure that you get that. Anyway. Well, thank you so much for having me.
No,
I'm sorry for the tech difficulties.
Well, you know, it's part of the course, isn't it? But I really, I'm really enjoying I can tell that you put a lot of thought and effort into a lot of the things that are in here. It's very easy these days to fall into traps of making things too easy or whatever. And what I really like about it is, especially the work that you've done today, is that I'm all about accessible witchcraft, especially things that people have already got 9 times out of 10 lying around.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to go out and spend loads of money. I don't believe in investing a fortune in a practice. It's about using what you have. And lemon magic is so potent and so effective, and also really cheap. So and largely accessible. Doesn't matter where you are, it is pretty accessible. So really, really, I love the candle and the lemon idea. That's brilliant.
Yeah, and like I said, if you want to, I don't know if it would be safe to take a bath with that, maybe, but
maybe with a tea light on the top.
Yeah. That would be great. I love floating candles.
Maybe floating in like a bowl of the water that you've used and created. Maybe you could, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
The house blessing water.
Or you can even do that with, you know, if you strain out the ingredients in the home blessing spritz, you can again put it in a bowl, charge it in the, you know, with the moon, and then have the candles floating in it, or the sun, you know, however you want to do it. So it's actually like a really great. I love doing that. Like how many different ways you can do something. So anyway, thank you for having me. Thank you everyone